Channel organization is one of the most important factors for getting your mix in the right direction as quickly as possible. So you're trying to get your mix from one stage to the next, and it's important to get this done as quickly as possible. Organizing and routing your tracks appropriately is going to make this happen faster. Today on Making Music with Akurios, we're talking channel organization and routing, and that's what's coming up. Hey, I'm Akurios and you're welcome to this week's episode of Making Music with Akurios. And today we're talking routing and channel organization, grouping your similar sounding tracks together so they can be processed in a similar way, if that's what you want to do, if that's where you want to take the mix to. So we're going to be talking about the simplest way to do this and what it can actually do for your mix as a whole. We'll also be talking about how this affects your workflow as a mix engineer, how it can actually speed up the mixing process and even improve the sound of the mix and help your master ultimately. So at the end of this video, you're going to be able to organize your mixes properly, know why you have to organize your mixes, learn ways you can make your mixing experience more fun and more productive, and also get a very good sound from your general mix as a result of proper organization. If this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is Akurios. I'm a musician, a music producer, audio engineer, a voice coach, among other things. And I'm just here to help musicians find the courage to pursue a career in music and earn a living in the process. So if you're interested in becoming a better music producer, audio engineer, mix engineer, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel, tap the notification bell so that you're notified every time there's new content on this channel and every time Making Music with Akurios comes up. Now let's see how organized this mix is. Okay, so first of all, what we have going on here, of course, we have a mix here. We have everything from the keys to drums, percussions, background vocals, lead vocals, bass, everything. And you've probably already done a static mix. You've gotten your levels sorted out, you've done your panning, and that's fine. But one thing that is very important if you want to have an organized mix is to actually route your channels appropriately. So if you want to do any bus processing where you have maybe a compressor like this API bus compressor that is on the drum bus here, then you'll be able to do that and affect every single drum element at the same time with just a single plugin here. Okay, and we have such going on some other instrument families here. I'm using Pro Tools and I'm sure it's similar. You can achieve this in a similar way no matter the DAW you're using at the moment. So you just have to send all your tracks, all the drum tracks, all the drum elements, send them on the output here, and you go to a bus, you select a bus of your choice. And for me, I just selected the drum bus right there because I already have my Pro Tools sessions organized that way to, and I've named my buses too. So believe it or not, every bus is named. I have my keys bus, my drum bus, percussions bus, just to be organized and to work very quickly. Now, let me point this out here before I continue. It's important to have this sorted out at least a day, worst case, 1 day before your actual mix day. So you're going to mix today, you have to sort all the routing and all the creating of the channels and buses and sending this here and there, sort it out 24 hours before mix day, because it helps your creative process. It helps you to just move on and take your mix decisions right away without having to start creating channels while you're trying to, tweak EQs and compressors and all that. Create your bus, set the input to that particular bus. In this case is drum bus. And then I take all the drum elements on my Windows. I'm holding Alt and Shift at the same time. And you click any of the tracks and then you select the bus that you desire. And then you have it. All the channels, all the drum elements are going to be sent to that particular bus. Now this is entirely up to you. Whatever tracks you choose to bus together is your decision. Now, you know what you're trying to do. You know what the picture you're trying to paint, the mix you're trying to create. So you know the similar sounding instruments or elements that will work together in that mix. So you just give them a similar color like I've done here and then bus them. And I did the same thing here for the bass. As you can see on this bass aux here, that's the group channel. I have the VMR, and I'm processing both bass channels with exactly the same effects. We have the EQ, we have the FG2A compressor, we have revival, of course, and trimmer, and all that is affecting both bass channels at the same time. That's one of the reasons you want to do this, because you want to apply processing that will cover all the elements in that particular group. In the case of the background vocals, I'll come back to the lead vocals in a bit. We have the background vocals here. We have a total of, I think that's 20 background vocal tracks. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 channels of background vocals. And what I have here is CPU power saving system going on. So that's one of the reasons you want to do this, because you want to save some processing power. Even if you have a very powerful computer, which, you know, like I do, you still want to save the system resources as much as you can. So instead of applying this much processing, let's count that, 5 different processors. Wow. EQs, dynamic EQs, and we have VMR also on 16 individual channels. Instead of doing that, we can just bust them to one group here and then apply it on the group, and it affects them. And then we have the effects here, the delays, the doubler, the reverbs, and the tape echoes that I would want to affect every single one of these 16 background vocal channels. Now, I have it on the bus alone, and it's affecting every single one of them. That's another reason you'd want to do this. Okay, so everything is going on that bus, and then it's affecting every single one of these 16 background vocal channels. Now back to the lead vocal. Now here we have something going on, because I have 2 lead vocal channels because of the kind of arrangement I did and some, you know, creative effects going on here and there, especially at the beginning, where I had to, you know, split the lead vocal channel into 2. Where are you? Okay, there you are. And then this is what we have at the beginning here. So I had one coming from one side, 2 from the left to the right, and then the other from the right to the left. And I process them differently, and that's why they have separate groups of processing on the individual channels. So in that case, I would still bus them to one bus or one group and then process it the way I want. So the only thing I'm doing here is a simple compressor. This is a very, very straightforward compressor going on here, just to make sure that we have a little bit of a glue on the lead vocal tracks. Okay, now let's go to some other organizational steps that you need to take for your mix. Now, if you know that you're going to be applying effects like doublers, delays, tape echo, reverb, distortion, like I have here, you would want to create those channels, create those aux channels that will house or hold the effects, and then you have them ready to send to your individual tracks. And then of course you have to make sure that the inputs are exactly what you want them to be. So they're going to be the exact buses. Here we have doubler bus, that's the input of this channel holding the doubler, and then we have this one being delay bus 1, and so on and so forth. And here we have this reverb bus, and so on and so forth. So you set that up and organized your effects channels, so that all you need to do when you start mixing and applying the effects is just send that particular effect or a copy of your channel of your signal to that particular effect like this. All you need to do is just tap that, select the bus that you want, and go down. Maybe it's delay 2 or whatever, set the level that you want, and that will be as straightforward as possible. So, but like I said earlier, you have to do all this, set it all up before you actually start your mixing process, because the hassle of trying to create channels, route them, send this here, send that here, set this input, set that output, all that is going to take away or interfere with your mix process. Okay, and then there is a mix bus. This is the final output where everything sums to. Now, this is how I have mine. I have all my buses, all the groups going somewhere. We have the drum group, we have the percussion group, we have the bass group, we have the keys group. You can see that all their outputs say one thing: music bus. Now, music bus is the bus that I use for all the music. And I have here a channel that says all music. And the input of that channel is my music bus. That's the music bus. And that's where all the music is summing to. And then from this point, from this channel, it goes straight to the mix bus. Okay, that's the mix bus right there. So all the instruments, the individual instruments, go to their separate buses, and then all the buses go to the music bus, and then the music bus goes to the mix bus. That's the order of my routing. And then I have my background vocals, all 16 of them going to this vocal bus or voice bus, and then the voice bus is going to the mix bus. It's as simple as that. So vocal tracks to voice bus to the mix bus, and everybody's happy. All right, so and then we have the lead vocals. Of course, they're going to this lead vocal bus, and then from that lead vocal bus straight to the mix bus. All you need to do is set this all up because you want to create that decent mix sound as quickly as possible. So you want your mix sounding as close to finished as possible, as early as possible, if that makes sense to you. So so routing your channels appropriately and doing all these organizational moves will help you control what is being summed at this mix bus. The option of getting your balance right at the channel level, and then you have their group level also, where you can now set that the way you want. And then from there you have, if you're like me, you now have a music bus here that collects all the music before it goes to the mix bus. So you have different stages of controlling the final output that you hear through your mix bus. You may choose to send the effects to the groups or decide to send them to the individual tracks that are going to that particular group, as I've done here for the guitars. Now, the guitars, not all of them required this particular distortion that I'm sending to the lead guitar, the lead guitars actually. I'm also sending some tape echo to the lead guitars, and as you can tell, there's no send on the other guitars, the acoustic guitars and the rhythm guitars, and there's nothing there. But there's a tape echo on the general group, another tape echo which affects all the guitars. I like to have flexibility in my mixes so that I'm able to affect the individual elements of the mix at different levels. So that's my routing setup. That's my channel organization process. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope it helps you make better mixes and achieve decent mixes as quickly as possible. So if you found the video helpful, go ahead and tap the like button. Don't forget to do that, and go ahead and share the video to as many people who it may be of help to. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. Tap the subscribe button, and don't forget to tap the notification bell so that you're notified when there's new content on this channel and when we have another episode of Making Music with Akurios. Till next time when we see again, I'm Akurios, and I'm out.